About set to begin another week of football, and happy to have you along. We are underway on Thursday night prime time. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And a look at a guy, definitely got a little razzle-dazzle to him. Can do it with his arm or his legs. Their mobile QB.
And a year ago when he was drafted, it felt like Central Cast and Bo Nix coming to the NFL ready to roll, where he surpassed all expectations a season ago and threw for nearly 30 touchdown passes as a rookie. Fell just short with 29, but a huge piece of his team's future.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, short tackle.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Sutton. That'll give him 8 that time. And that's going to make it third down and less than a yard.
Brings up third down.
On the sneak, it's Nix. And he will have the Broncos first down. At least it would appear that way. He didn't get it by much, but yes, they do get the conversion on 3rd and 1.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. He'll get that complete to Franklin. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
Nix to the air. And the Raiders have got him. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. The defense, they brought the house. That O-line, they were overwhelmed.
To put it mildly, because they didn't have enough bodies to block all the guys that came at them. Their best move, how they would have been better served, just turn around and yell, "Look out!" because here they come.
Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Here's Nix. Got a man and he hits him in stride. It's a pickup of 12 and that'll set up the 3rd down. It's safe to say the passing game has found a rhythm. He's now 4 of 4, but might need to be 5 of 5 to keep this drive going here as they face a 3rd down.
And maybe perhaps you show a running play, right? Maybe a little play action here to go ahead and let him throw the ball downfield. I wouldn't get away from him flinging it because 4 for 4 already, I think he's got a good chance of picking this one up here on 3rd down.
And he will have the Broncos first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
That's another Denver Broncos.
Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chains, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Part of check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down. And he's down into the red zone at the 16 after a gain of 16. 1st and 10.
That's another Broncos first down. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
And power running here down to the 6-yard line. Give him gained 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here. They'll go again with Dobbins. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense, because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
Dobbins will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on 1st. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this fourth down territory? Might he go for it?
And I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. So call that no gain on the sneak, and now they're still a yard short here on 4th.
Brandon, 3rd and goal from the 1, and they go quarterback sneak, and they expected a surge up front. The surge came from the defense.
Yeah, it looked like there was no surprise defensively. They were ready.
Yeah, totally stacked it up, unable to get it on 3rd down.
They're going for it with Dobbins. And it'll wind up being knocked back to the 3-yard line. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And on the opening drive of the ball game, the defense comes up with a goal line stand. So the Raiders backed up here to begin their first drive. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
And how about Geno Smith? The number of times we've looked at his career and said, here's something new for him. And that's exactly what we're talking about with his move to Las Vegas after 5 seasons in Seattle. Over 70% last season completion percentage. And the Raiders, they definitely need that type of efficiency in Vegas. And the best part, he has a head coach in Pete Carroll who really believes in him.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Geno going to hand it to Genty. And he'll find a little space. He gets this up near the 10. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Here's Smith. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Call it a loss of 4 there on the sack. And speaking of the number 4, it brings up 4th down now.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
Here's A.J. Cole now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
They knew they were going to have great field position, went all out, got a little too aggressive.
And you have to understand your angles. They're cut down. When they're that backed up, you've got to be careful going after him.
Up the middle, it's Genty. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Alex Singleton, the linebacker, there on the tackle.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
2nd and 10. They'll go again with Genty. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more.
No gain on the play.
Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. 2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. Now it's Smith. He's got a man complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Marking down at the 49. That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down.
So how do you beat man coverage? First of all, you want to be a superior receiver, but you know something, that guy who's covering you, he's usually pretty good too. So the corner route is usually a great spot to get it done.
Now Gino. That's caught left side. Myers with it.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
We're scoreless after 1. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2. And they'll come up 2nd and 7. As they've got it as we resume action. A run straight ahead with Genty. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
1st down, Raiders.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Right back to Genty on 1st down. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 48 yards rushing for him on their opening drive of the contest, and it's now 1st and goal. This is a very impressive drive, especially when you consider where they started from to now be set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, and some nice running right there. That's what got them the 1st down. But at this point, I suggest open up your playbook. You can call just about what you want.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. That's caught by Tucker. 5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's 3rd and goal. Here's Smith. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to sack back at the 16-yard line. Alex Singleton making the play defensively.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
Fourth down, and on comes the Raider kicker, Daniel Carlson. A 33-yarder from the left hash. Carlson able to put this one through. And the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage.
Broncos nothing.
A lot of energy in this building tonight, but the opening drive produces 3, maybe quiets them just a bit, at least momentarily.
Just a little, right? That's all you're asking for, right? Things just getting started. You know they haven't taken the momentum totally here, but at the same time, they like what they've done here in the early going.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
Off the play fake, here's Nix. A short throw to Ingram. To give him 2 yards there on the completion. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
Well, he and his offense were staring down what was likely a 3-and-out. Zero fear from his side, though. Never doubted for a second they pick up the first. He's ready to pull the trigger on a keeper the moment it revealed itself.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Off the bootleg, here's Nix. Looking left side of, he's got a man. That's Atkins. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. From the 46, here's 2nd and 3. They'll go play action with Nix. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It'll be a loss of only a couple on the sack, but now it'll bring up 3rd down.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Now a 3rd and 6. To throw, here's Nix. That's caught inside the 20. They're all the way home for the Broncos score. Evan Ingram, 56 yards. And the Broncos have taken the lead. So many times you think of these tight ends catching the ball already in the end zone, but today's tight end, they can run after the catch too to score.
They're big, they're strong, but they're extremely athletic, and they can surprise the heck out of you when they get the ball in their hands and they're running away from the defense.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And Evan Ingram able to finish it off with a touchdown reception. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Geno now to throw. Escaping the pressure right. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
It's a gain of 23 yards. First down, Raiders.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
On first down, it's Genty, and they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Gain on the play.
Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Smith. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. Now Smith. Open man is Tucker. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
5-yard attempt.
And that is no good. And that will keep this a 4-point game.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
And Denver getting set to take the field.
A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
It's a nice zone breaker right there. Take the tight end, move him out to the slot, then have him run a corner route versus the zone coverage, which means he's going to be behind the shallow coverage and ahead of the deep coverage, put the ball right on him.
On play action, here's Nix.
He'll let this go deep for Sutton. Touchdown! Cortland Sutton, 36 yards. And the Broncos are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy of his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want is just a moment where the guys covering take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by them. And once he's by them, there's no catching them. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
Trust me.
What's good on the extra point? And that pushes the lead up to 11. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Raiders offense ready to go. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, Do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time? Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now Smith. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And we'll find the open man. That's complete. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. It's a big play there for Vegas. 43 yards.
So often when we're watching a football game, we see one with a lot of ebbs and flows, and this one is no different. And sometimes you just need a big play to wake you up a bit. And they get one right there. That shot of caffeine this offense was looking for.
A run out of the gun with Genty. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
A quick hitter complete. It's Tucker. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen, did not let him get downfield.
They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. Smith. He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. And that is caught, but the bank judge right there to say incomplete. So since that last play got nothing, they'll go ahead and decline the penalty, and that forces a 4th down situation. On 4th down, here's Daniel Carlson for the Raider field goal. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Carlson is good. And a 2nd field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So the margin shrinks a bit as back-to-back drives here for him in with field goals.
Yeah, we know no one's turning down 3, especially in the first half, but you've got to finish these drives in the end zone. That's got to be a priority. Nice to have a reliable kicker, but outside of his agent, you know you'd rather him kick 1-pointers instead of 3-pointers.
Oh, he shifts past him. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Broncos going to go on offense now late in this first half. And with an 8-point lead, probably not too much of an impetus to try and do too much here. Operating from the gun, here's Nix. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Second and 5. Now it's Nix. He completes this to Sutton. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
To throw is Nix. Open man right side is Ingram. And he's brought down. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Throw in Nix. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and inches at the 34-yard line.
So halftime is upon us on Thursday night primetime, and we go off to Orlando. And Scott Hansen for our halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Scott Hansen and our great crew here in the Orlando studios set for an abridged version of the halftime report. This game, to this point, a little slow to begin with, but in the second quarter, the offenses started finding their way. We hope we're set for a great second half, so let's get back out to the stadium and rejoin our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Scott, thanks a bunch. And we'll see which team's adjustments are going to pay dividends here as we are just about ready for the start of the second half. The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this third quarter of action. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. But they do trail, but they have a chance to possess the football first to try and do something about it.
And that certainly makes it something of an important drive for them, because is it going to win the game? No, but you have to do something to bring some life to your sideline.
He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down by.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players getting home there, and it's a loss of 2 on the sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now a tough spot for Geno Smith and company after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Throwing now is Geno. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Nick Bonito, his second sack of the night.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Here's A.J. Cole now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He'll send this away into the Rocky Mountain night, and it's a good one. That's taken at around the 40. The danger of a punt that good, a 16-yard return. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's down inside the 40.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
Here's a 2nd and 5. He's going to try and take off with it. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
That's good for a Broncos 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
And this is one of those plays that if you can use it to keep the chains moving, it's a good play. And not only that, it tends to tamp down the pass rushers because they have to recognize this play and stay at home. The quarterback uses it well. Read option, keeps it, and picks up a 1st down with some nice running.
And he's got it down to the 28.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's 2nd and 6.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a 1st down to boot.
1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
A give. Dobbins trying the right side. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Hustling through to break that play up, Max Crosby.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
From the gun on 3rd down. Nix. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. J.K. Dobbins, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Broncos have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
Yeah, that's a nice play design right there. He's going to fake the give, then roll out, and he lets his back leak out toward the pylon. And how about the throw? Right where he needed it to be for him to catch it in stride, he's able to take it into the end zone.
Alonso looked to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-6. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. A good-looking return set up here. And a very solid return out across the 45-yard line before going out of bounds.
The Vegas offense ready for their next possession.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Back to throw, Smith. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Throwing is Smith. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos offense and Bo Nix getting set for this next possession. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him. And he'll look to keep it rolling right here. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Off the play fake, Nix. And down he goes, brought down a Raider sack. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up third down. Now Charles dealing with a third and long. They'll have to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
A tough spot here, 3rd and 15. Here's Nix. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And finally taken down at the 34. A huge play there for Denver. And even 50 yards.
Good for a Broncos first down. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Boy, this has just been an offensive clinic. It's seemingly been one big play after another, and add this one onto the list. When you can bite off more than half the field on one play, things are definitely working in your favor.
41 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
He's had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. This 2nd and 4. Another run here with Dobbins. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And he will have the Broncos first down. At least it would appear that way. He didn't get it by much, but yes, they do get the conversion on 3rd and 1.
Well, they pick it up on 3rd and 1 on the quarterback sneak, and that's not easily done because there are extra bodies in there on the defensive side, and they're moving forward at the snap.
Yeah, I was certainly expecting a handoff, weren't you?
Yeah, I totally was. I thought they'd go with a back, maybe try and get a lead blocker in front. But as you talk about in different games, those guys with confidence in their offensive line, they just want to move forward and get it.
That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Nix to the air. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
When you're running the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
And that's a great job of tackling right there. If he could have made the first man miss, maybe he could have taken it into the end zone. Instead, they stopped him pretty well right in his tracks, and you often see that in the red zone. Offense has to be quick. In this case, the defense was quicker.
A 31-yard attempt.
The kick by Lutz is good. And that will extend their lead even further. And right now, Charles, this is about building that lead little by little, and they're able to do just that.
And it gets them past the key number of 16, so this is now a 3-score lead. Not time to exhale just yet, but that might prove to be an important 3 points before things are said and done.
And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. I kind of feel like... And it's a fumble. It's picked up by the Broncos. And it's a big turnover there on the final play of the quarter. 4th quarter coming up here on Thursday Night Primetime. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. It's Bronco football, and they also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th. A give up the middle to Dobbins. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
It's not easy playing the corner, is it? A lot of times you got to defend against the pass, but sometimes you have to play against the run. How about the job he did there, crashing inside to make that tackle for a loss?
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Off play action. Nix. And the Raiders have got him. Max Crosby blowing up the play and getting the sack.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
The offense on third down tonight, can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. And this is going to be incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. The Broncos send out their punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. To throw is Smith. A quick throw there is incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now Geno. Short throw caught by Bowers. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters in this deficit. Down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
Late in the game, he's certainly doing everything in his power to buy time for his guys to make a play, but in this case, he's surrounded, and all he has room to do is to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's Smith. Can't get away, and he's taken down. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Now a tough spot for Geno Smith and company after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. That went out wide and intercepted. Picked up by Tananoa Hufanga. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins.
And he spins past him and into space. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. 65 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Off the play fake, here's Nix.
He's going to get this one out to his fullback. Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot, because we saw the catch there, right? He made it, but he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back.
They'll go play action with Nix.
All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Touchdown, Broncos! A 5-yard touchdown. And the Broncos add 6 to their lead. The partner, he has carried them in this ball game throwing the football. All 4 touchdowns through the air, and that's really helped them get this nice lead.
And I know it's a team game, but right now, he is truly the focal point. Every touchdown his team has so far has been the result of his arm. How about him throwing it downfield, creating big plays? I don't know how you slow him down unless you can make him uncomfortable in the pocket.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And they open the lead up now to 25 points.
Makes the score.
Just a 4-play drive that time. And it ends with a Denver touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And able to get this out to the 25. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right,
throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Geno now to throw. Under pressure, and they get to him again. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Now a tough spot for Geno Smith and company after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Now back to throw. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Cole now on to punt, and he sends this one away. Taken right about the 40. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They can definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to get them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. This offense has had a lot to like in this game. I don't know that last play, though, is going to make the highlight reel.
It's not going to make the highlight reel, but it will be the focus of the film session that the team has to sit through. I've sat through those before. Never any fun. You're always excited about your good plays, and they actually fast forward through those. All right, that was good. All right, great. They get to the bad ones and really illuminate them. Not cool.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good.
The Raiders take over.
So out come the Raiders.
At their own 20-yard line.
Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Here's Smith. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Tucker. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. With this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a first.
Has not been a big game for him throwing the football. I think he feels like, let's try something different. Let's use the legs here and see if we can make some plays.
And no passing touchdowns, yardage not where he would like it. Try something new, it worked there. Short throw caught by Bowers. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him, and what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Now Smith. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw here. Pass complete right side to Bowers. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And a field goal obviously means nothing here. They're going to go ahead and go for it on 4th down. They'll go. Here's Genty. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Ashton Genty, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Raiders are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. So they only needed a couple of feet there on 4th down, but they got more than that and then some as he takes this into the end zone.
And I love your description right there, right? 4th and short.
They got that, no problem. Let's go ahead and get the rest of it. Finish it off in the end zone, touchdown. Everyone goes away happy on that one.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll cut the lead down to 18.
Raiders 13.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Broncos are going to get the football. The risk reward of the onside kick, when you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
Here's a give to Dobbins running right. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now Dobbins again on second down. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd and 12. To throw, here's Nix. Over the middle, complete. That's Franklin. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first.
6 yards. It's 4th down.
So this one will wind up a Denver victory. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.
So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.